Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, a little birdie told me that you have an itch for the Switch It Up cast. That's right, my name is Glenn, and I am one of the hosts here on the Switch It Up show, and I am joined by my good, dear friend, Seth Trav.
What's going on, everybody?
We have a jam-packed episode this week. Tons of stuff to talk about, a lot of things to dive into, great things on the horizon, nothing but positive thoughts this week here on the Switch It Up show. So, without any further ado, we'll let the music roll for a second because it's just so good, and then we're going to go ahead and slide right on into the inventory. So, go ahead and indulge yourself in these sweet, sweet tones. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, the next segment that we're going to be talking about now is the inventory. And if this is new to you, the inventory is the section where we like to talk about some of the games that we're getting our hands on recently, what we're getting involved with, what we're spending our free time on. So, Mr. Trav, don't leave me in suspense. Let me know what's occupying your itch for the Switch.
My dude, I've been playing a game we're going to be discussing a little bit later on. I don't know if we want to reveal that now.
Sure. Right.
Okay, cool. I've been playing Vaccine.
Yeah.
Difficult game. I want to leave it there because it's coming up in our review later on today.
Yes, sir.
But I've also been playing a little bit of Demambo. I've been enjoying that lately.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's got something we're going to be reviewing in the future for sure.
Yeah. So I'm playing those two right now. It's pretty good time. I'm still digging Dissiga 5. Well. I haven't picked up Zelda again yet. I'm doing Dissiga 5.
That's fine, man. there's so much right now on the Switch. Like, it seems like every week there's more and more releases coming out. So, you gotta take it one at a time. You can't, there's no one's timing you, Get through them when you get.
Exactly.
Just have fun. Just have a good time.
And I'm spreading my love around lately,
As you do. That's what it's all about, sir. So for myself, I have also, had been spending some time with Vaccine for sure. I'm about to go pick up Zelda again, and it's not that, like, I see exactly what you're saying. Like, it's not that I don't want to play Zelda. It's just that I get distracted with Zelda like so easily, and which is fine. It's not like I have to like finish the game at any like certain like pace or anything like that. But I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna go to this dungeon, and then I'll go get sidetracked and work on like upgrading stuff for like hours, and before I know it, I've in a way made no progress, and like an hour has gone by.
I wind up doing a lot of cooking.
Yeah,
a lot of cooking. I'm constantly like fiddling with recipes. I'm like Bobby Flay in Zelda.
You're just grilling.
I'm grilling on the rag.
Everything that you can. Yeah, man, I understand.
Link meets grill, man.
I understand, man. And then non-Switch wise, I have been playing. I can't get enough of that Friday the 13th on PS4, man. I really hope.
I'm still stuck in it. You already know. I almost killed Jason. I was super happy about it. I love that game, man, and I keep leveling up. It's such a good time.
Hey, man, I really hope that it comes out to the Switch. I think that game would play super well on the Switch, but I don't know. We'll see.
That'd be so incredible.
A lot of stuff on the horizon. But some of the other things that we have on the horizon of this week's section in Potent Power-Ups, which is like our recap of all the news that is going on in the world of Nintendo Switch. We got some debatable things going on this week. Did you happen to check out the Splatoon live stream? I think it was on Tuesday.
I didn't check it out. I saw some highlights of it. It looks like a ton of fun.
Dude, I'm glad you're excited for it, man, because it's actually like they have like a test. It's called like a Splatoon test fire where you can try it out before the game actually comes out. Is this weekend. It's this Saturday, and it happens smack dab in like the afternoon. So I'm not gonna get a chance to play it. But
I don't know if I'm gonna be able to. I might be going and getting a cat.
Oh, dude, that's right. That's going to be a good time. You're going to have to talk about that next episode for sure. I want to know all about it. But actually, I'll probably end up seeing that cat when I come over. So when we record our next episode, next Tuesday, we're going to have an episode out really early next week. So a little gift to you guys. We got a lot of things coming out that we're going to talk about, new releases. So, we got to kind of pick up the pace here on the Switch It Up show so we can cover everything for you. Super fortunate that so many companies are hooking us up. But news, live stream, Splatoon. Splatoon 2 looks awesome. I never got a chance to play the first one on Wii U, so this is going to be my first experience with Splatoon. It seems like there's so many different like types of weapons. The one that I'm probably most familiar with is the paint roller, where you get to like roll like this giant paint roller on the floor to cover as much area as possible. But what I thought was really cool is not only can you hold it like a paint roller, you can hold it like long ways and like fling it so that like paint shoots across. There's all types of like paint guns that like shoot through walls. Like it looks like crazy. It looks like one of those games where like there's probably people who play it casually and then people who are so good that it just hurts.
Oh my god, it's gonna be diehard Splatoon fans out there online.
Yeah, man.
I'm stoked for that a little bit, to see that. Like, what's the Splatoon equivalent of a headshot?
I don't know, man. That's a good question. I have no idea. Like, I don't think you die, or if you just become like overcome with paint. Like, I'm not really sure.
You get covered in their paint, I would assume.
Yeah.
That's how you lose, right?
I think so. But I also, they talked a little bit about like all the different type of like, there's like so many different combinations of upgrades, and not armor, but like things you can wear. And there's sometimes only vendors are available at certain times, like almost like Xur from Destiny. It seems really cool, man. It seems like they put a lot of time and effort into it. So I'm super excited about that.
Looks like it'll be a ton of fun.
Yeah, man. And then recently it was uncovered that there's an NES emulator, like hiding around in the firmware on the Switch somewhere, like modders found it or something.
Dude, I was so stoked to read that.
I remember you were saying you were super excited about it. Like, I mean, I guess it makes sense that it would be in there, but like, why? Like, what about that gets you like pumped?
It means that they are going to definitely be putting NES games on the Virtual Console at some point.
I hope so, man. Like, I'm dying over here.
That's like a guarantee that you're going to get old school classic NES, and hopefully it's going to be like 99 cents a game.
That'd be great, man. But see, like, what makes me nervous is like personally, I can't wait for when if the Virtual Console comes to the Switch, because like I really want the Switch to become like my center for everything that's Nintendo. I really hope that they have everything from like original NES all the way up to like like GameCube or Wii. Like if it can do it. Like I would really love that, because I can just like have so many just games with me all the time. That's like the goal. But now with the NES Classic, which you can't really find anymore, but with the SNES Classic coming out, like, do you think that they would try to like kind of like it's a different type of product, but do you think they would try to undercut themselves, by having like a Super Nintendo game for sale on the Virtual Console, but then also having the SNES Classic? Like, I don't know. I feel like that might play a role in like why it's taken so long, because in my mind they're just sitting on like a vault of money that they could just open at any time, but for some reason there's still no Virtual Console on the Switch.
I think that they need to develop an infrastructure for that sort of thing. I know that they do have it on the Wii U.
Yeah.
A decent store at least, but I think that they're working on something of a pay monthly platform or yearly platform to be able to release things to us. And they're a very worldwide company, so I'm assuming that they're debating on a lot of things. They're formatting for this more mobile platform, formatting it just for the Switch. It's interesting. It's very interesting. I definitely think that they're going to release a lot of these things virtually. I mean, they have to, because like you said, they're on a gold mine of money here, and they're just sitting on all of it.
Yeah, man, you would think so. Like, I'm hoping it's coming out. I got my fingers crossed, because I am ready. And then lastly, this week we also got a peek at Hori's, the company that makes all types of different really cool third-party licensed accessories for Switch. They put out a picture of what their headset looks like for Splatoon.
Oh yeah,
and it's kind of like the first product that we're seeing an image of where it works with. Like with voice chat. It's like the first thing that's taking care of voice chat. And it kind of looks like a little bit of a nightmare. Have you seen it?
No, I have not.
Okay. So I'm going to try to paint the picture for you, because I'm looking at it. And I'll put the link to it over in the show notes so you guys can check it out. It's over on Polygon. And basically it's like your run-of-the-mill headset that plugs into this weird adapter. And this adapter then like kind of tees off into like two other plugs, one that goes into the Switch and one that goes into your phone. So basically you're taking the game audio from the Switch, the chat audio from your phone, putting them into this adapter, which then connects to your headset. It looks like a straight up nightmare, man. I have no idea how you would even try to attempt to play this if it was docked, like, if your Switch was docked and you're playing it on TV. You'd have to have some giant aux cord like running across your floor. Like, it looks horrifying.
Dude, it sounds like a ton of dongles.
Yeah.
And it seems completely unnecessary.
Yeah, man, it looks nuts. I'm really hoping that they come out with something, some other type of solution or something like that. I know a lot of people have been putting like Bluetooth adapters over, like clicking them into their Switch and then pairing their headphones with them. But it seems like with this, even that like wouldn't quite do it because you'd have to get that audio into the headphones. I don't know. It looks crazy. I hope they come up with something better.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I hope. It's interesting that they want to do their voice chat over people's phones, you know? Like, it seems, in theory, a great idea, but at the same time, it's kind of like, why? You know? It's like, I gotta use 2 different devices now just to communicate with my friends.
Yeah, it is a little strange, but at the same time, like the one thing about it being on the phone that's really cool is you could just tether your Switch like anywhere you are, and then you have voice chat, you know, and like to your phone, and you have the internet, and you're just chatting with your friends playing Mario Kart in like the middle of like, you know, an airport or a museum or just outside like in a park. You know, you don't need to have like, you always have that network connection with you. So in a way it's like super convenient. But I just wish like it could connect wirelessly or it was Bluetooth or something, you know, like come on. Give me like
really,
you know, you have a dedicated Nintendo like app, or you will when this comes out, at least for Splatoon. Why don't they just have kind of one umbrella, like one Switch app that you just pair it with your phone, and then boom, like everything just works. Passes all the audio, does it all. That would be the dream. I don't know. I feel like they can figure it out. Sometimes Nintendo does great stuff that makes total sense. Other times it's like, yo, why do I have to, if we want to be friends on Switch, why do I have to give you a code that's like 13 numbers long?
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. But regardless, still love Nintendo. They do great things. So speaking of love for Nintendo, sir, I am loving all the releases that are coming out this week to our little eShop over here. Have you had a chance to check out some of like all the stuff that we're just getting like assaulted with this week?
Dude, I did actually. I was lucky enough to play a little bit of Demambo.
Oh, dude, yeah, that's right, man. We got a lot of stuff coming out this week. Just this week alone, we have Bulb Boy, Death Squared, Demambo, I and Me, and also Levels Plus Addictive Puzzle Game. You wanna
what a title,
dude? I know, right? Do you want to go ahead and kind of just give me like a brief idea of like what the gist of Demambo is? Like, we're gonna be featuring it in an upcoming episode, but if you can just kind of tell me like what it's like.
So Demambo is a little bit of like you play as a little ball and you move around and you have to complete little pseudo puzzle things while avoiding or attacking enemies.
Are you having a good time with it?
It's nice. It's a nice little game. It looks like there is a multiplayer mode, but you're not able to play that yet. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to trying that out. But yeah, I'm going through it a little bit. It's interesting so far.
Awesome, man. That sounds good. Also coming out this week is Death Squared. Death Squared is another type of like little puzzle game. It kind of reminds me of I don't know, it looks like it's got like all these lasers going around on the screen. It kind of reminds me of Portal in a way, but you have to kind of arrange these squares on almost like a floating grid type area in order to solve the puzzles and destroy other stuff. We're going to be featuring this on an upcoming review as well. This game looks really, really cool. I'm very excited to check it out. It's Death Squared. I would definitely recommend that you go take a peek. Since we're talking about so many puzzles, have you seen this Levels Plus Addictive Puzzle game at all?
No, not one bit.
So I'm gonna go ahead and read you the short little synopsis here, so you can get an idea of what this is. Levels Plus is an addictive puzzle game that you'll want to challenge over and over again. The rule is simple: slide and match panels with the same color and number to level up. The blue panel is your ally; it will get stronger as you level up. The red panel is your enemy, and it will get in your way. Level up blue panels to defeat your foe. The yellow panel is your treasure. Level it up to increase its wealth. It looks like it's like a sliding grid that you're constantly sliding pieces around in order to, like, you know, level certain things up, defeat other things, and collect points. It looks a little weird, but I could see where it might be one of those things that's super addicting. I know you're really into those phone games, so this might be up your alley.
It seems kind of like that, but it also seems a lot like those you remember those old school, like, brick sliding things where it's a picture of something and it's all jumbled up and you have to like slide it out and there's only one square missing.
Yes, this very much reminds me of that.
I don't know what those things are called, but they were everywhere when we were younger.
Yes, they were, and they were not easy.
No, and this doesn't seem like it would be that easy either. That's part of the joy of my cell phone games. They're all about leveling up and just making colors match.
And that's good enough for you.
That's all I need is my number to rise and to make colors.
There you go. Fair enough. We also have Bulb Boy coming out this month. This week, I should say. It says, one gloomy night, Bulb Boy wakes suddenly from a frightening nightmare to discover that evil has overshadowed the Bulb House. His family has disappeared, and there are horrid monsters lurking in the shadows. Gather the courage and use his glass head to save everything he loves. Find the light in yourself. This is like a multi-award-winning game. All types of awards displayed very prominently over on their website, which is bulbboygame.com. This looks fun. This is also another one that we're going to be featuring on an episode very soon. I am super excited to check this out as well. Have you heard anything about this one?
I have, and same sort of deal. It just looks like a lot of fun from what I've seen about it. It looks like it's got a unique kind of style. I'm definitely excited to play it, man. Definitely excited.
And then since you were talking about cats, the last game that comes out this week is I and Me. It is kind of like a 2D side-scrolling game where it's like a puzzle platforming game where you control like both cats that are on the screen at the same time in order to kind of like get through the levels. Mostly it's like platforming. You have to watch out for different obstacles. You have to trigger certain switches to get parts of the level to advance yourself. And you're controlling both of them at the same time. And it kind of has like that, just checking out some of the pictures, it almost looks like, do you remember that game like Braid?
Yeah.
That people like, it kind of looks like that, but a little bit more colorful. The graphics look like really crisp. Again, this is another one we'll be featuring on an upcoming episode. So I'm super excited. We're going to get to kind of shine the light on some of these titles a little bit more. And I got to say, that's one thing that I feel like the Switch is doing really well. We're getting a ton of indie games, even though we're not getting like, a lot of like first party releases at the moment, but they're doing pretty well on that, sir. But speaking of indie games, why don't we go ahead and slide over into the Let's Play, which for this week is going to be Vaccine. You mentioned you had some time to play it. I had some time to play it as well. And why don't you go ahead, if you don't mind, sir, if you'd be so kind to just, go ahead and just let me know something about this game. What about this game is like rubbing you the right or the wrong way?
Okay, so here's my deal with Vaccine. It's a cool game. Okay, it is basically Resident Evil 1. Graphically, it's kind of a mix between the first remake of Resident Evil 1 and the actual Resident Evil 1. So it's not that bad. Not that great, though. My problem with it is that it is Resident Evil 1. Like, there's a reason they don't make these games anymore. They don't make games like that anymore because it's very difficult to play when you have to, press up on the stick. Then you have to press a hard left or right to bevel yourself. Then you have to move again. I'm already stressed out because of the music. Music is great in this game.
Yeah, it really is.
The setting is great. You're in the mansion. You're going around. You're killing these weird dog things. You're killing zombie-esque things. Like I said, graphically, it's not the best game. I feel like if you just did a 2D side-scroller, it might have been better. Something like that. It's definitely scary. It definitely gives you the creeps, and I love that they do this little it's like a self-generating game. Like every time you go through a different door or you start the game over, it's a new hallway you're in or a new room you immediately enter. So the experience is different every single time. I got a chance to use a bunch of different weapons, got to see a bunch of the different enemies, collected a ton of keys, but I never really did like it. It wasn't that fun for me because of those controls. Those controls are so frustrating. So, yeah.
I completely understand what you're saying. I mean, when we like, because I feel like you and I both kind of grew up on Resident Evil, and at the time when that game, when that game was out, like you were just like, what? Like that was like the only thing, and it was like so new, and you were like, oh, this is so cool, and yeah, the controls were weird, but immediately you kind of just like adopted them and got used to them, because that's like kind of how it was at the time for those games. But now so much time has passed that like no new games control like that. Like at all.
Yes. So that the issue too is that you don't have like a full range of motion. Like you can't just run in a simple circle. You have to literally stop, move yourself, and then go forward again. You can go at an angle a little bit, but you can't just like run in a circle if you need to. And that's sort of you've got to be able to like run around enemies, and you can't really run around an enemy that well. You've got to really hug against a wall if you want to get anywhere. That's not that fun. It's also kind of difficult to aim at these enemies. Again, because of that camera, that fixed camera.
Yeah.
I had a hard time with it before I switched it to what they called, I think, TCP mode or RCP mode, where all it does is put a real bad filter over the game to make it look like you're seeing it through security cameras.
Yeah.
But for some reason, that really helped me in playing it and controlling the character. I don't know why, but it really made it easier for me to do.
Yeah, I mean, that is interesting. I don't know, maybe you mentally fooled yourself into being like 10 years old again or something, and then it just came back to you for that brief moment that you had that filter on.
I don't know what it was. I think once I put the filter on, it felt more like I was just controlling the camera, watching someone walk around, and that made it easier to move the character around.
Okay.
Like I was able to be like, okay, well, the character is going to go in this direction. I should be following along that way. It might just be the cameraman in me, but I'm like, it sort of became like that, where I was like, move ahead of the action and the action will take you there. That's my weird explanation for how my mind processed a grainy camera filter.
So I'm going to hit you guys with the, with the synopsis of this. So basically in Vaccine, you find a vaccine for your infected friend before the time runs out, but be aware your friend will relapse sooner or later, and you will have to find a new vaccine in a new randomly rebuilt house. Will you be able to uncover the mystery and save your friend once and for all? Vaccine is a new approach on survival horror inspired by those of the 90s. You can choose between the two members of a special biohazard rapid response team, each starting with their own unique different abilities. They are trapped in a strange house populated by dangerous mutated creatures. They will have to find a vaccine for another team member who is infected with a deadly virus. It is super cool how every time it's just generated and it's brand new. That's awesome.
Yes.
And I love the idea that this is the first survival horror game on Switch. This is the first horror game, like straight horror, that there is. There's other games with like horror themes, but this one is purely like you said, like very akin to Resident Evil 1. So much so that they're using the same type of fixed camera and the inverted controls, which I also found kind of off-putting. I really didn't understand why there's not an option to be able to like switch those controls back to normal, because if those controls could be switched back to like what we're used to now, it might be a little bit easier. And I hear you on the problem like with the motion, walking around like the certain rooms. Even the inventory control screen looks like
it was hard to make sure I had the right inventory.
Yeah,
the color was like off on it, and I couldn't really see where I was going necessarily on the inventory screen. Did you have that issue?
The inventory screen, like, it looks kind of like, I mean, they're using like the same type of font. Like, this is a straight up homage to everything that ever was and ever will be Resident Evil. But like, I don't know, like it's weird. It doesn't navigate quite the same. And I don't know, like I get the theme that they're going for. But to me, it kind of just doesn't fit together as snugly as I like. But I mean, it feels like a game like out of those times. So if they were going for like throwback, if they wanted to make a procedurally generating Resident Evil game, they succeeded. I just wish it controlled as well as those games, because you and I have played some of the Resident Evil games like together, some of the remasters, they play better than this. And I know that it's not really fair because this development, they're not Capcom.
No.
So few people are. So it's not.
I'll tell you this. I also love the lore. They do the same thing like Resident Evil does. You can pick up little bits of paper here and there, and it gives you some info on, what was it, Blackwood, Black Worm, the medical facility that they're trying to get the vaccine from, and the experiments they're trying to pull. It sounds like it has something to do with like a hadron collider, something like that. It's parts of it are cool. The story's still cool, again, because it's like an homage to Resident Evil. But there's a reason the Resident Evil games changed up in 4, and then again in 7.
Yeah.
Or 6, whatever one just happened where you're first person all of a sudden.
Yeah, I think that
it should stay dead like that. I'll tell you my score on it. I think I gotta give it a 2 out of 5.
I feel like I have to reluctantly agree with you, sir. I really wanted to, like, when this thing first came out, like, I was like, yes, I was like, I can't wait to get my hands on this. This is gonna be awesome. And the controls really kind of threw me for a loop. The menu was hard to navigate, and it just wasn't quite. I guess, like, because they're trying to emulate Resident Evil so much, I thought it was going to be like on that level, and it wasn't. For me, it wasn't quite there. This game is $9.99. I don't know.
For less, I'd do it.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. Like, that's I feel like that's close. Like, I feel like if it was just like a couple of bucks cheaper, it'd be like the sweet spot. But yeah, for $10, I'm like, I don't know. I'm not sure, but
it's a shame. But I'd have to tell you to leave it for now.
I appreciate what they're going for. I think that's awesome. I think
absolutely.
I think it's cool that they're kind of starting the push for scary games on the Switch, because like
they capture the atmosphere perfectly.
They certainly do. And this game's rated M, actually. So I'm not sure, but this might be the first M-rated game on Switch too. And I feel like it is important that people start to create, like, more like horror games and even like more mature games, because a lot of people have always looked at the Nintendo consoles as like a console for like little kids. But we're starting to get more and more releases of all different types over on the Switch. So the more games that come, and the more developers are like, free to make whatever games they're thinking about, like, that'll be good. We'll get more good stuff, which is what I want. But Vaccine is for sale over on the eShop right now, $9.99. If you have Vaccine, if you are a huge fan of Vaccine, if you think we're kind of off the mark, that is perfectly fine. We would love to hear from you. You can actually reach out to us over on Twitter at SwitchItUP Show. And guys, remember, if things ever start to get boring, just go ahead and switch it up.